What's up, everybody? It's your boy Showtime Doctor. This is a level 55 Weapon Trial 1 boss clear. So, things to know. We're going to go ahead and use two tactics here at the beginning, March Order and Urgent Order. March Order gives you bonus movement, great for closing to the boss, as well as maintaining DPS, you'll see later. And Urgent Order gives you an additional energy on top of 80 speed, so that a certain character, in this case Abyss, can go first. Now, Abyss is a fantastic unit. You'll see already, just off of what Abyss did there on turn 1, both defenses are down 40%, as well as having attack down 20%. The boss puts out immense damage, pretty much all of the weapon bosses, so anything you can do to mitigate that, including debuffs, is going to be key, making Abyss a fantastic unit for this. You saw Angel went ahead and attacked the rock. You're going to need these tiles clear so that you'll have more room to maneuver as the boss continues to put down debuff mechanics on the ground. You see Butterfly taking it out. So first character up close gets attacked. Barrel went ahead and added another debuff. You see these little squares on the ground, you don't want to stand in them. The boss is going to put those out, and anytime you move over them or you're in them, you're going to get additional debuffs. It's just going to make it that much harder for you to survive. So Barrel doing barrel things. Now, a lot of y'all might not know this character. This is Outlaw Crossbowman. Fantastic unit. A bunch of us that got higher in tower last week used this unit at least a dozen times on the maps. The skill he just used right here basically refreshed the duration of the defense downs, as well as he has a bow that basically longbow of the modders, if you happen to have one of these, build it. Increases damage taken 10%. Anything you can do to kill the boss faster is always going to be a plus. We're in the round 2 here. There's Abyss putting up additional debuffs. That's Butterfly. So what Butterfly just did right there is something that makes her useful on these boss fights. She can cleanse 2 debuffs and turn them into buffs for 2 turns, as well as heal, making this a fantastic overall unit to use on boss battles. She also has a swap that'll give additional movement. You'll see that in action later. And then she has a Dance of Encouragement support ability. You get 15% bonus damage for all allies within 5 tiles, 30% lifesteal for 3 turns, another great mitigation tactic to help keep your team up. You see that big square on the ground there? That is a mechanic where the boss is going to basically do a gigantic DD. So that is also a reason why you need more squares. You gotta get out of that as quickly as possible. There it goes. So right after this, the boss is going to put up another square. You can see it on Abyss there. That is a damage share mechanic. You're going to have at least one more unit in there to share the damage. Otherwise, your units are probably going to die from trying to tank all the damage by themselves. You can put an additional character in if your mitigation isn't up to par with just 2 characters. Angel makes a great candidate. You're going to see here. This is a real funny swap. And there it is. So that damage was shared between 2 of them. There's going to be a little RNG mechanic on one of the front characters. In this case, Barrel. Barrel is the only legendary unit here, which means that she's scaling more on her stats. So she's an awesome candidate to tank that extra damage that comes from out of that. So in case you're unfamiliar with these characters, I showed you Butterfly already. Barrel, she's the queen of all she surveys. Fantastic magic damage, energy regen, and the only legendary character here. Outlaw Crossbowman, already showed you him, but he pretty much has mechanics to refresh defense downs, as well as put up Infection, which is a great boss killing mechanic. You can stack it up to 9 times. He's one of the units with it. Lila will and Nona will have it, as well as a couple other units in the game. If you can stack it higher, that is also a great DPS option. And Abyss, she just constantly puts up debuffs, so great for mitigation, but can also do great damage. Another great unit from Tower that we were using. You can see all the buffs that we have already going on here between Angel and Butterfly, which is ridiculous. For those of you who don't know Angel, you should have her maxed by now if you're following the quest that they've given us. Pretty much she's putting up 3 random buffs every time she's doing some type of healing effect, which is great. Also has a AoE regeneration, and you can give her an aura that reduces damage taken. Awesome there. Magic defense down as well. There's her big AoE. So you notice Outlaw Crossbowman is standing in the square in spite of what I told you, but that's because Angel does an AoE heal and gets rid of debuffs. So in that case, it's perfectly fine. In general, though, you don't want to be in it as much as possible. So we're going to let the fight play out here. So there's the march command, like I was saying. You can maintain your DPS because you can move 2 squares. So for your units that don't have the range to hit from the shelter area, you got this mechanic, march, that you can use to maintain good DPS even though you need to get out of dodge. And then once this is done, here comes the damage share mechanic again. And it's just a rinse and repeat. So it looks like that one's centered on Angel. There's another debuff from the potion. Outlaw Crossbowman putting in work. Angel getting rid of debuffs. Abyss adding debuffs. And the damage share this time is going to be between Butterfly and Angel, the support units, which is great. As much as possible, you don't want to risk your DPS units. And they're just going to rinse and repeat now. You've seen all the mechanics. You know what these characters are capable of. Keep in mind, 1 legendary character, 3 epic characters, and Outlaw Crossbowman is a brown character. So these should be characters that are easy enough for you to build up. So there's something here I got a kick out of. I'm going to wait for it to come up. Right after Abyss's turn here. It's kind of funny that Butterfly's just dancing in the middle of what's basically going to be a death zone in 2 turns. And she's like, I'm in my performance, I'm in my zen. I got it going on. Must be fun to be a Vladaran dancer. Lots of debuffs there in the little Tetris formation. There's the damage share mechanic again. Possibly we're going to kill it before that's going to go off. See if Abyss can make it work. Nope. So we got a share here. Perfectly fine. They're good. And there's Barrel tanking the damage again. And we're just going to clean up, and that is that. So that is the Weapon Boss 1, a level 55 clear, done very painlessly. You're going to have to work on your mitigation, so depending on what items you got, how high level everyone is, the things you bring with you as far as the skills. I showed you most of the skills there. As well as, don't forget your passive tree. Upgrading your healers so that they can have that magic defense or physical defense or damage reduction, that they can tank things like that. Get your DPS, the attack mechanisms, but also get them a little bit of the mitigation as well so that they can stay up. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to conquer this boss. Getting as high as you can on the weapon bosses should be paramount on your account now that we're in the mid-game mire trying to get the end game. You want to get 5 stars on your weapons as fast as possible. Unlock other weapons as well so that you can add those to your roster and strategically be able to handle, along with your tactics and your character diversity, no matter who you have in this game, any situation that this game throws at you, from tower to bosses. Later on, we're going to get event dungeons. There's going to be additional towers as well. So we need to get ready for that, and pushing through this mid-game mire, like I said, and getting the farm that we need to get our accounts past it is going to be paramount in these next couple weeks. I wanted to thank Vulcan from Vulcan Gotcha having me on the show. If you haven't seen it, it's a great show. Go check it out on his channel. We had me, Per Platypus, and RNJ. I saw RNJ shouted me out during his Weapon 50 video. Good to see you, brother. We've been helping each other out behind the scenes. And that's it. So hopefully this helped you out. Yo, I'm Showtime Doctor, Showtime DR. You found my YouTube. Hit like and subscribe for the content. I'll catch y'all in the next one.